All right, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, who had quite the odd game, I guess, against the Ravens. It did not get off to a great start for them, but they were really able to make some things happen in the second half to ultimately find a way to get this victory here. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what went wrong early on for the Raiders, but then ultimately what went right. First, I'm going to highlight a Ravens edge rusher. Pressure was an issue, and a lot of times it seemed like just pressure that was almost by the Raiders' own doing. Like, watch the left tackle here for the Raiders on this one. As you see, it almost looks like he wasn't ready for that play to start, which means he blows, the edge rusher blows right by him, knocks the football out for Gardner Minshew. So bad start to the game. First play of the game for Minshew results in him fumbling. Luckily, the Raiders were able to recover, but that wasn't great, and it was a bit of a sign of things to come early on for the Raiders. Like you had this one later on a 3rd down and 3. It's the edge rusher on the right tackle right here, and this isn't a miscommunication or an unforced error. This is just watch. He's just going to beat that right tackle, gets over to Minshew. Minshew has nothing, nothing he can do other than just take the sack at that point. So, again, plays like this can really be tough. You had an opportunity on a 3rd down and weren't able to take it. And this one, another bad one. And again, the Ravens will be a bit tricky, but this is something that's got to drive you crazy if you're Gardner Minshew. Because you look at his protection, he's fine. Right? There are 3 Ravens players who are lined up towards the top half of the screen. So towards the offense's left, the left of the center. But this is no big deal for the Raiders and for Minshew. The center is blocking towards the left. So you should have enough guys to block everybody. However, as you see, this is, Colton Miller again, who I like as a player, but not the best start to the game for him. You see he goes up and he's blocking somebody else, meaning for the Ravens, there's an unblocked player right there, and someone else is getting double teamed. This is a bad job by the Raiders, not communicating, not knowing where they're supposed to block. And again, it results in Minshew having no choice but to just take the sack on a 3rd down and 4. So, having these 3rd down opportunities just get destroyed due to just unforced mistakes here by the Raiders. Again, the Ravens like to blitz, they like to mix things up. They can get you to do this, but this was a bad play by the Raiders. It just was. And then also the interception. This is the best angle to show, but the interception in the first half, it's a play that definitely on paper can work. It's zone coverage for the Ravens. That is the route that Las Vegas is going to look towards here. That's the route Minshew is going to look towards. And again, on paper, you can see how it could work, right? There is a little window right there. Minshew takes the snap. He looks in that direction. And right here, okay, you see what he sees, right? Which is that that Raiders player is getting open underneath the safety. But the issue is, the Ravens player in that area is definitely taking this route away, and the only thing I can think of is that Minshew just didn't see him, because when he makes this throw, he basically throws it right towards a Ravens player, and it results in a interception when, that play would have been a completion had that Ravens player not been there. So, again, sometimes not seeing the field, not reading the right play, these are, once again, unforced errors by the Raiders that are getting them down early in this game. But now let's go over here. I'm going to highlight another Ravens edge rusher as, again, pressure has been an issue on key plays on 3rd downs. This is a 3rd down and 8. But watch Thayer Mumford Jr., the right tackle, 77 for the Raiders here. Watch him on this one. He just battles, right? It looks like it was going to be a bad play at the beginning, but is able to battle, give Minshew just enough time, and Minshew doing a good job working outside the pocket. And one other guy that we're going to have to talk about in this comeback is Brock Bowers, who has quickly established himself as a star player in this league. You see how open he is. You give him this much time, he's going to get open. Minshew hits him. Bowers is able to do some really good stuff. It's not an easy guy to tackle. Was ruled down at the 1, but they scored a touchdown right after. So that kind of rejuvenized the team, right? Because they were down 10 points with 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. All of a sudden, hey, you can convert on 3rd downs and you can score touchdowns. And just like that, we have a ball game again. Of course, the Ravens would then go on to score a touchdown of their own, so back up 2 scores. But the Raiders have juice now. And really what they started doing was just feeding their top guys. Devonte Adams running a route that's going to get into a gap in coverage right here. Watch what happens. Minshew takes the snap. He is going to look in Adams' direction. He fires in Adams' direction. Really well-timed throw by Minshew in between those two Ravens players. And you see Adams right here Minshew hits him. Adams is able to do some nice stuff in open space as well, and they're able to pick up another good chunk play, move the ball down the field. This is the value of Devonte Adams, who is really making some great plays out there. Like this one, you see Minshew is going to eventually look towards him, scrambles a little bit, and then fires off balance. And due to kind of the off-balance nature, this throw is leading Adams maybe more towards the sideline than he wanted to. He wanted to make a bit of a sideline throw. This is a bit much. Or maybe it isn't, because look at Adams find a way to haul that one back in. That's just good stuff. I mean, this is kind of why you went out and you traded for Adams back in the day, was because he can make plays like this. This is something that he is capable of doing. And then going to Brock Bowers, again, these third down plays where I think they just showed his stats. The stats look very good because once he wasn't getting sacked on third down, things were going really well. It's a 3rd down and 5. You have this quarters coverage that the Ravens are in right here, but the play is designed to get Brock Bowers open. He's the one who is running more towards the bottom of the screen, or going to be running more towards the bottom of the screen. You see how when this play begins, the Ravens don't have this uncovered. Like, they're aware of this concept. They read this concept pretty well. Like the linebacker Trenton Stimson doing a solid job at getting over there, but doesn't have the speed to keep up with Bowers. Watch as Minshew makes a really accurate throw, and Bowers, again, really good catch. And it is the kind of guy who, it seems like when he's getting tackled, he still falls forward for 4 more yards, picks up the 1st down that allowed them to keep the chains moving. They did score the game-tying touchdown on this play, or on this drive, I mean. So really good stuff here by the Raiders. Again, it's the kind of thing where Minshew is going to give you some wonky performances. He's not going to be consistent. He's going to be a bit up and down. At least that's what he's been up until this point in his career. You look at his best games, you can't believe he hasn't been a consistent starter in this league. You look at his worst games, you can't believe that he still is a starter in this league. But he will still give you good games like I thought he did today. And also, he has a lot of weapons, and he doesn't need to be perfect. He can make the mistake early on, because then he has guys like Brock Bowers and Devonte Adams and Jacoby Myers that he can look towards on future plays. This was a really impressive performance against a defense that we all thought going into the year would be pretty good. Now, they've had kind of an underwhelming couple weeks, the Ravens defense has, but you got to give credit to the Raiders for being able to really put up some good plays here and get a big win for them, as obviously it was a disappointing week 1, so really promising week 2 here for the Raiders. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Minshew and the Raiders. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.